Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well, and Happy New Year once again if you're joining or viewing this for the first time in 2025. This of course follows on from the video I just did talking about albums I missed in 2024, and this time I'm talking about my 10 most anticipated albums of 2025, the albums I'm looking forward to the most. And 6 of these are actually scheduled to come out this year, or they have at least confirmed release dates, so we can be reasonably confident that these albums will be coming out. Lots of them actually due to come out in the early portion of this year, but the other 4 albums are more expected, or perhaps I might call them wishful thinking kind of albums. You know, it's wishful thinking on my part that they might get released this year. So I'm going to start with the first album here on this list of 10 that I'm most looking forward to, and that would be The Halo Effect with March of the Unheard. This is a band with former band members of In Flames, and they are a Swedish melodic death metal group. Now those two things are alone enough to pretty much sell me the album, I have to admit. But yeah, I'm interested to check this one out. I must admit I'm completely new to them. I haven't listened to their previous 2 albums. This, I believe, is their 3rd album now. But looking forward to it all the same, and that's the first one I wanted to mention because I will be listening to that one, possibly reviewing it. That's due for release on the 10th of January. Now, next up is a big one for prog metal, at least, and prog metal fans, because I'm talking about the return of Dream Theater, but not just the return of Dream Theater, but also the return of Mike Portnoy on the drums as well. And there's quite a lot of excitement surrounding this return of Dream Theater, particularly because Mike Portnoy is coming back. Now, I'm also pretty excited about this. I already think from the singles we've heard, and in particular the single Night Terror, I thought was really good and certainly had a focus, and you know, it's easy, I suppose, to sort of say that Mike Portnoy coming back reinvigorated the band and everything, but I want to wait to hear the full album, I think, before I really kind of make any judgment like that. I have to say, actually, I didn't dislike really the Mike Mangini era of Dream Theater, like some fans that sort of really don't like that era at all. I actually think there were some really good albums that era, to name 2, I guess. Distance Over Time, I thought was a really, really good record. I also thought A Dramatic Turn of Events was pretty good too. I know you had The Astonishing, which was really a bloated, slightly overindulgent affair, but we won't talk about The Astonishing too much here. I actually thought it had a few nuggets of things that I quite liked in that album. But anyway, to get back to this album, this is their expected album Parasomnia, which is due for release on the 7th of February. So not too long to wait for that one. And as I say, you know, the singles have been promising for this one. And hopefully Dream Theater can deliver us something that's going to be pretty great for 2025. Now, next up, I'm talking about Lacuna Coil and their album, Sleepless Empire, which is due for release on the 14th of February. And I've very rarely, if ever, mentioned Lacuna Coil on this channel, which is surprising because I actually go back quite a long way with Lacuna Coil, all the way back to the early 2000s. I remember, I think, a couple of their singles from Comedies on that album that came out then. And, you know, I sort of remember watching 1 or 2 of their music videos back in the day as well. So I am very familiar with them, but I haven't listened to any of their recent material. In fact, not listened to them for quite a long time. So, but what I have listened to recently was their past album, Black Anima. And I was really impressed and surprised with how much I enjoyed that, because I never really thought I was ever really sort of necessarily really taken in with their songs from my memory of them before. But, you know, I quite enjoyed their stuff, but I wasn't necessarily blown away by it. But Black Anima was really, really good. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to check out this new album that's scheduled for release on the 14th of February then. And now I'm actually quite excited about this album that's due out called Sleepless Empire. And yeah, looking forward to that one as well. Now, next up, I'm going to talk about another album with a scheduled release date, a confirmed release date, I believe, of the 28th of February. So a couple of weeks after Lacuna Coil one. This is Avantasia with Here Be Dragons. And I'm a pretty big fan of Avantasia, actually. One of their albums was on my top 10 power metal albums of all time list. I really enjoy Tobias Sammet's singing and songwriting, and he always kind of I find particularly with a lot of their albums, they have a sort of stage musical presence about them, or a lot of their songs have this kind of stage musical style about them. And did really enjoy their last couple of albums and albums before that as well. So I'm just stoked for another Avantasia release, particularly as, you know, I think got a couple of new guest vocalists this time, and one of the guest vocalists is Adrienne Cowan, who I talked about actually in my previous video just a short while ago. Because I got excited about Seven Spires, and that was an album I missed. That I'm a bit regretful that I missed that album out and from my year-end list, and I only got to it very late in the year because I thoroughly enjoyed it. And she seems like a really, you know, a singer with a lot of range, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings to the new Avantasia album as well. So that's another album I'm looking forward to in 2025, Avantasia, Here Be Dragons. Now, next up, I'm going to be talking about a really huge, hugely anticipated release, modern metal band, I suppose you can call them, what a lot of people call them, Spiritbox, with their release, Tsunami Sea, due out in March. And this is a big one. I am excited about this, a little cautious as well, because I remember the hype around Eternal Blue, their debut album, and whilst I thought that was a really good album, I still don't think it's necessarily what Spiritbox can truly achieve. I think they are just an immensely talented band, really gifted with the likes of Courtney LaPlante and Mike Stringer. I just think this band have got just huge potential to deliver something really, really special. And I just think maybe because of my high expectations that sometimes I don't always feel they're quite met by Spiritbox with some of the songs they release now and then. But I have enjoyed, I think the single Soft Spine I thought was very good, but you know, I really am hoping we get something quite spectacular from Spiritbox. This is their second album. I personally want something better than Eternal Blue. For me, personally, I know they can do it. I know they can wow us, and I just really hope Spiritbox do that with this new album, Tsunami Sea. So I hope to be blown away, and perhaps rather than saying I hope to be blown away, I should say I hope to be washed away by Tsunami Sea. That would be more appropriate for the title of that scheduled album. So next up, so I didn't mention the release date for Spiritbox, it's actually the 7th of March. Next up, also due out in March, on the 28th of March, we've got Arch Enemy and Blood Dynasty, another album I'm really looking forward to. I feel like Arch Enemy keep getting better in their illicit era anyway, like this 12th studio album is one I'm looking forward to, based again on singles. Now, singles can be misleading, but you know, obviously it's always, the proof is in the pudding, it's in the actual album release. But the singles that got me quite excited with tracks like Dream Stealer, which is a ripper of a track, and Alyssa sounds fantastic, and I like Joey Concepcion and his input, I think, so far into these songs. So looking forward to that Arch Enemy release, very much so. Now, next up, I'm talking about albums without confirmed release dates. These are all, you know, somewhat conjecture, I guess, or that they're expected for release in 2025. One is Mare Cognitum, and this is a bit of a steal from Hammerheart Meta Reviews, because he was saying he was looking forward to them possibly releasing material this year. It's been a while since we had Solar Paroxysm. That was my number 3 in my year-end list for 2021, so I'm really excited for the possibility, any possibility, that a Mare Cognitum album comes out this year. They are, of course, an atmospheric black metal, sort of melodic black metal band. I would call a one-man project, if you will, one of those, but a really, really good one too. So that's another one I'm quite looking forward to, but it's, you know, it's kind of speculation, I guess, I think, rather than anything being confirmed just yet. And another artist with a similar sort of thing here is Hatchie. I am hopeful that she releases an album this year based on, I guess, kind of historic, sort of a couple of social media postings I've seen. I mean, that's very much speculation once again. I would love a new album from Hatchie, just because I really enjoyed Giving the World Away from 2022. It was one of my favourite albums of that year, and really enjoyed the sound on that album that she found, and just the songs were also pretty tightly done and performed. So, you know, really hoping Hatchie releases something for 2025, and fingers crossed that maybe that will happen. But we shall wait and see. I'm always happy to wait, of course, if the artists need more time to make something even better, so that's obviously fine as well. But, you know, these is just albums I'm looking forward to. Next up, we've got Testament, and I think this is just another one that, this is actually, I think, expected. So there is some expectation that this album is coming out, because Chuck Billy did a recent interview with, I think it was The Rock Pit. So I just got this source, Australia's The Rock Pit. So I'm looking forward to the possibility of a Testament album. I always look forward to the possibility of a Testament album. I think they're quite consistent. There's always pretty solid thrash metal on offer from that band, and has been for a number of years, a number of decades even. So Testament, one of the original thrash metal bands from the 1980s. I love what they do usually, and I hope we get something from them in 2025, which leaves me with one band and one album left to look forward to, or to say I'm looking forward to. But again, this is more expectation, more speculation than anything concrete. But this is Epica, and this would be their 9th studio album. In fact, no, I think there might be expectation around this this one. I might have read something about the possibility that they're working on a new album. I'm not 100% sure, but this would be, as I say, studio album number 9, and basically Epica never miss. They never miss. They always deliver strong material, and in fact, as they go from each album to each album, you think surely they can't do it again, but then they usually produce something which is possibly even a little bit better than the album before. At least I thought that with Omega, that was a superb album. You also had the Alchemy Project EP as well, and they just don't seem to stop coming up with ways of coming up with a new album that's as good as, if not slightly better than, the album that came before. They're a quite remarkable symphonic metal band, one of what I call the holy trinity of symphonic metal, that being Epica, Nightwish, and maybe Within Temptation in that bracket as well. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new, do drop a like and a sub. There's been some growth with this channel recently, which has been hugely encouraging for me to see that. And yeah, it's just great to see. But anyway, I hope you all have had great New Year's and breaks, if you've had breaks over the Christmas period or whatever you celebrate. And until next time, as always, it's bye for now.